Thank you, truly, for having us all here. So you want to have a little talk? You guys ready? Okay. So there's these God-given rights that we have that we don't connect to, especially when we get sick. You guys know when you get sick, you get your first symptoms, they don't go away, or they go away, then they come back, then they go away, then more come back, and then you're on the journey looking for help. That journey could be a long journey. There's people here, 20 years on a journey, even longer. But there's these God-given rights that we don't connect to that are there. But see, we don't feel we deserve them, even if we don't even know what they are. And if we knew what they were, we still probably don't feel like we deserve them, because when we get sick, we think we're probably a bad person. Then you get people around you that they're tired of hearing about you being sick. I don't know if you've experienced that. Have you experienced that before? Right? Same old story. Same old story. You've been sick for so long. Just go to the doctor. That's all. Why aren't you at the doctor already and get fixed? Get better. Take a drug. Whatever. But it doesn't work like that with a lot of people who have mystery chronic illness. Not like when you break your leg, right, down the ski slope. You got to go to the doctor. You got to go to the ER. You got to get that leg mended and fixed. And it's a miracle what medicine does. But then there's this huge part of the world where they're sick and no one seems to understand what it is. Tremors, spasms, tics, cramps, bloating, sleepless nights, pain, suffering, mental, emotional pain, physical pain of all kinds. So many symptoms, hundreds of symptoms. And a lot of people can suffer from 100 symptoms. Can that be possible when you even hear it? 100 symptoms? Yeah, it can. And it is possible. And it does happen. And you guys know how that works out there. But then that journey makes it so we feel like something's wrong with us. No one seems to understand us. I can't heal. I can't get better. Some people are on their hands and knees praying to God at night, wishing that God would just fix it. And because of all this and the struggle, it makes us doubt ourselves. It's easy to doubt ourselves. So easy. Because that person on the street's not sick. They're walking. They're fine. Look at all those people over there. They're fine. Look at the people on social media. They're great. They're good. Everybody seems to be fine, but me. I'm not. But they all are. And that's the kind of thing that happens, and it breaks us down, kind of chips us down. That's the way it rolls, you know. And it doesn't just hit older people in their 60s and 70s. It hits teenagers. It hits kids, right? And then the whole, maybe you brought it on yourself and you manifested it, but then how does that work with an 8-year-old who's sick? Did they manifest their sickness? I love that one. Love that one. But it's that hard out there. So much confusion and misinformation that it's easy to take the blame. And the industry, yeah, unfortunately, puts the blame on us. It's your genes. That's why you're sick. Your body's attacking itself. That's why you're sick. And even the alternative arts world will be like, you manifested it. That's why you're sick. You must have brought it on yourself. That's why you're sick. It's endless, endless. And so there's these God-given rights that we lose even if we didn't know what they were. One of them is you have the right to be well. You have the God-given right to be well. Yeah, did you know that? You actually do. You have that God-given right. And if you're not well, that's okay. But it will change, and it will shift, and you can heal, and you can get better. If it doesn't get better fast, that's okay. You're going to get there, and you're going to get better. But you have to know you have this God-given right to be well. The reason why you have to know this is because it's critical you connect to that information. It's critical you connect to that understanding, because you could get lost real easy when you're sick for just more than 2 weeks. I find someone who gets the flu, they're not better in 5 days. They're sick for a month. Triggers them into being sicker later. They can't take it. They can't. So a lot of people, they can't handle the heat. They can't. What about the person who has chronic fatigue for 10 years? Dear Lord, okay? It's bad. But you got to know you have this God-given right to be well. And by God, you will be well, and you will get there. There is hope and there is faith, but if you don't know you have this God-given right, it's hard to have that faith stay strong. It's hard to have that hope stay strong. It's easy to lose touch with it all. Real easy. Real easy. You also have the God-given right to have mental peace. Mental peace. A lot of people struggle mentally. They do. Even the ones that are walking around out there all day, and you see them driving their cars. SOC tells me a lot of people don't have mental peace out there driving their cars around. When I'm in a car, that's all I hear. A lot of people struggling mentally in their brain, struggling with all kinds of different issues. But there is such a right as a God-given right to have mental peace. There truly is. By God, you'll have that mental peace. It will come. But you got to know it is your right, and no one can take that away on any level. They can never take that away. It's yours. You own it. It came with you when you came into this world. That right came with you into this world. It's attached to your soul. The God-given right to have mental peace is attached to your soul. But a lot of people, they suffer from OCD. They suffer from a lot of mental struggles and thoughts. And when someone has chronic illness physically and then they have the mental struggles, it is a suffering no one understands unless you've been in their shoes, unless you felt what it is like. You can't compare it to anything unless you experienced it. But if you don't know you have this God-given right, it's hard to keep that faith, to then say in the middle of the night, I'm going to have that mental peace, and it's going to come one way or another. That mental peace is going to come, and I will have that because it is my right. Since I was born, it is part of my soul. You have the God-given right for a good sleep. How many of you have had difficult sleeps in your life? I see the arms coming up. Look at that. Part of that was probably having chronic illness, right? Yep. Part of that was having chronic illness. But you have the God-given right for a restful sleep to heal. You do. It's yours. When you're up at night and you're worried, keep that in mind, okay? It is your right to be able to sleep. It is a real, true right that you own. But if you don't know you own it and you're staying up at night and you're struggling and you're processing thoughts and pain and mental anguish or anything else you're processing, you got to know you have the right to have a restful sleep. Needs to be there, because someday you're going to sleep real good, real fine. Are you guys sleeping a little better, some of you now? Some of you sleeping a little bit better? You have a God-given right to thrive and adapt. The world's changing every day. If you see in the Medical Medium book, you see AI wasn't used to write this book. Every health book in the future is going to be AI written. Not a single one is going to be written by somebody all the way through. It's not going to happen. It's not going to exist. So it's going to be an AI jumble of health crap all mixed up and then processed and put into books. And you see, AI is not involved with the medical medium book, so I put that there, and the publisher let me put it there because they know they couldn't put it there if it wasn't true. But the world is changing and changing fast, but you have the right to adapt. And I don't want anyone in fear of the changing world that's happening really quickly with everybody. You got a book over here? Can't wait for you guys to read this. I really can't wait. You have the God-given right to thrive. Yes, thrive. It's not just for that guy that didn't get sick yet, who has millions of dollars and is trying to say he's the longevity guy. There's a bunch of them. They never really got sick, never really had a problem, yet they're young, no real worries. They got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they look like they're thriving. You have the ability to thrive. You have it in you. You have the right, the God-given right to thrive. You do. You see people out there seemingly thriving. You have the same right. You are thriving now because you've beat stuff that nobody can beat. And I say that because when those people get sick someday, we'll see what they're doing then. We'll see. They don't have that internal strength. They'll fall apart. You guys have the internal, the true strength, okay? You got to know that, but you got to be connected to that God-given right to thrive. You have it. You own it. It's there. How else have you been hanging in there for the ride, being chronically sick for so long? How did you do it? You have it. You did the work. You did the work. And you hung in there before you found the medical medium information. You hung in there. You guys did. You got the God-given right to prevent illness. To prevent illness. You do. Okay? You can take control, you can be empowered, and you can prevent illness. You have that every right. It's there, but you gotta know. You gotta know. And you got the God-given right to heal illness. Yes, you do. People don't believe they can heal when they've been sick too long. They don't believe it anymore. They don't. They go to their next practitioner or doctor or healer or herbalist or chiropractor, or whoever. They go to their next guy, and they don't even believe they can heal anymore. They go into the office with doubt. People lose track of that understanding that they can still heal. Yes, you can, and you will, but you got to know it's your God-given right. You have to know that, because you got to tell yourself that. So when you're in your doubt phase and you're in your lost your faith phase, whoever you are, you got to remember, I have the God-given right to heal. You can't take that away from me. I'm going to fight for that right. I'm going to understand that right. I'm going to apply it into my life. I'm going to say it. These are the God-given rights that you have. They're with you every single day, and it's important to be connected to that. You guys are a wealth of information. You have experiences. They are unmeasurable. You can't measure them. They're bigger than that. They're more profound than that. You have spiritual experiences. So many of you have skated by death. Skated by an early death. You have tremendous amount of influence and experience and understandings, spiritual abilities, even supernatural. The world out there does something pretty evil out of so many evils that are in the world. It's making people who have chronic sickness or making people who are chronically ill feel like they're weak or seeming like they're weak. When the reality is they're the strongest people, the strongest. Fact. The world is set up in a way where the chronically ill still aren't respected. They aren't. I'd be lying to you if I said they were respected. I would be lying to you. They may be respected if an influencer wants to sell you something. Chronically ill, great target, a great target. But still, the industries don't respect the chronic illness environment or the chronically ill because they don't even understand them. But you guys possess powerful influence. You're seen from above. Because what you have to understand is when you get a symptom or condition, everything kind of stopped, and you've had to sit in it and experience it and feel it. And man, that's tougher than climbing some mountain. That's tougher than climbing some big old mountain. Because you can physically climb it, you know? You can. What you guys have gone through, way tougher than that. If I see somewhere out there somebody succeeding, in an athlete succeeding, right, in some way, you guys have gone above and beyond that in your life with what you've struggled with and suffered from. Because I know athletes, they come to me crying because they've had 15, 20 years of being able to use their muscles and push themselves really hard and win medals, Olympics. A lot of Olympic athletes come to me who once snowboarded and won medals, and then all of a sudden a virus hits their brain. They have no understanding. They don't have any understanding at all about it. They get said, oh, maybe they got Lyme disease. Oh, maybe they got this and this. And they're sick for 6 months, and they've lost their privileges of being able to snowboard for medals anymore. And they're in shock, and they come crying to me after they've been to 100 specialists. And I say, it's a tip of the iceberg compared to so many people I know who have been through so much. Got to have a lot of respect for yourselves. You know how I always say, pat yourself on the back? Have you guys ever heard me say that? Pat yourself on the back, right? Pat yourself on the back. Have compassion for yourself, okay? I'll keep on saying it because it's true. Be easy on yourself. Have compassion for yourself. You deserve it. No beating yourself up because you've been struggling. No reason to. You don't have to do that anymore. So there's all these God-given rights to heal, and then something magical happens. There's these God-given resources we can use to heal. They're there. I pointed out a lot of them over time. You guys are familiar with them. I mean, we wouldn't know they're truly healing without information from above. We'd all still be taking charcoal pills and protein shakes. Somebody with a chronic illness gets stuck in creatine shakes and protein shakes, charcoal pills, collagen, pearl powder. That's real smart. Colostrum, terrifying. But that's how it works. That's how it works. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. And we have this information from above. I've tried my best to message it the best I can. I don't know if it's that good. The message. I've tried. I've had a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of people out in the world that don't want this many people healed around the world. Interesting. Celery juice has healed more people around the world. You don't hear a squeak. Do you hear about celery juice, a squeak? You guys don't hear a squeak. So many people, their lives turned around with celery juice. Can you imagine? And the media, you don't hear a squeak. It's interesting. Shows you there's still darkness in the world. Shows you how it works. But you guys, you have more light around you. You have the angels around you and looking out for you. How many of you guys are in touch with angels? Right? When you go to bed at night, you know they're there, right? You're not alone. You know they're there. They're watching what you do. They're watching you make your celery juice. They're watching you make your HMD. They're watching you make all the stuff that you do to take care of yourselves. They're watching you better yourselves and heal and conquer your illnesses. God's watching. It's all being seen, every last bit of it. And it's truly, truly beautiful. You guys are amazing. The world is changing so much. In one way is chronic illness is on the rise. I've talked about that many times. It's on the rise. It's happening real fast now. But you guys are ahead of it. Do you know what I mean? Ahead of it? You've experienced it. You lived with it. You're healing or healed from it. That's right. And then you're going to watch the world get sick. And you guys are going to be like, right? And that's what the future is, unfortunately. 5 years from now and 10 years from now, it's going to be like nothing anybody's ever seen. Just the heart attacks alone are rising. Cancer, other diseases, neurological problems are really, really on the rise. Autism is on the rise. We know that. All of it is. But you guys are ahead of the game. You guys are filled with wisdom, understanding, experience, like I was saying, empowerment, and you guys are seers. You're seers. You can see. You're not blind. You can see. And you're going to see out there what's going to happen over time. It already is. You're going to watch it, and you're going to know, been there, understand it. I know the truth. I can see. I don't have blinders on. I'm a compassionate person. And I'm wise. And that's what you guys are. You guys want to do a light blast? Great. How many of you here have had a light blast? You guys have had? Really? What? Out there? Really? Let's head over around the corner here. So let's get prepared. This light blast is it's gonna be all out here, you guys. It's gonna be here and out here. I'm glad everybody came out here because this is gonna be a big one tonight. Everybody having fun out in the street? Are you having fun? Okay. All right, good. All right. And the food's been amazing, right, guys? Back here? Right? All right. So where do you want the light to go? This light's going to come from behind the stars. So kind of get prepared. How many of you look at the stars at night? Do you ever get a chance? Doesn't it make you feel so small when you start looking at the stars at night? It truly does, you know? It's like, whoa. Whoa. There's a universe. There's a galaxy. That light's going to come from behind the stars, okay? Because that's where your soul also came from. It came from behind the stars. That's where your soul came from. Your soul came down, whizzing down, flying down, right at the perfect timing to enter into a womb. And it came from far away. It wasn't just floating around down here. You know, I wasn't doing that. It came from far, far away. And it traveled really fast. Really fast. It had to make the timing just right to land into the person your soul was supposed to land into. So you want to think about behind the stars. And you want to think about that's where this light is coming from. It's coming from up there. And it's going to come and it's going to hit the top of our heads. That's where it's going. But where do you want it to go? Do you want it to go to your heart? Maybe you got some heart stuff. Maybe you got a little heart trouble.